Hello everyone, and welcome to the 2023 Cape Breton University Students' Union Presidential and Vice Presidential Debate. I would like to begin by acknowledging that Cape Breton University is located in Mi'kma'ki, the ancestral and unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. This territory is covered by the treaties of peace and friendship with Mi'kmaq and Wolastoqiyik people, first signed with the British Crown in 1726. The treaties did not deal with surrender of lands and resources, but in fact recognized Mi'kmaq and Wolastoqiyik title and established the rules for what was to be an ongoing relationship between the nations. My name is Eleanor Sidley, and I will be the moderator for today's debate. I'm a CBU graduate, and during my time as a student, I had the opportunity to chair the SRC and served as Students' Union President in the 2017-18 school year. Since graduating, I have worked with various departments at CBU and am now in student affairs. It is a pleasure to be hosting the debate today, and I look forward to hearing from all of our candidates. During the general election debate, you will get to hear from all slates running to be the next student leaders of this university. It is important to be respectful to the slates as well as your fellow students listening during this debate. Any talking over candidates or yelling during the debate will not be tolerated, and you will be asked to leave the theater. Clapping can be done as people finish their questions, but not while they are answering. And again, no photos or videos, and please put your phones away. Each slate has been given a number and will be referred to by that number from here on out. They are as follows. Slate 1 is Amalia and Inderpreet. Slate 2 is Harjot and Boni. Slate 3 is Sahil and Gideon. Slate 4 is Yash and Olivia. And slate 5 is Supriya and Jatin. The format of the debate is as follows. Each slate will have 3 minutes for their opening remarks, followed by a question from the moderator that each slate will be able to answer. Then we will have a round of audience questions. Each slate will be given a different question that has been randomly selected for them. The slates will then have the chance to ask one other slate a question with time for rebuttal by them. We will then do another round of randomly drawn audience questions, finishing with another question from the moderator. Closing remarks will then be made by the slates as well as the CRO. With that, we will get started. The first slate up for opening remarks is slate 1.
Good afternoon, everyone. All right. The last time I was on the stage was a different experience where I was actually the host and not on the other side of the podium. But yeah, this is what it is today. And I want to give a very brief introduction about me. My name is Amolya Annappa Satish Chandra. I'm a second-year student at postbachelorate business management. And I'm also the multicultural hub coordinator who's been working with the Students' Union for about 4 months now. We've been doing a lot of events in university, interacting with students. And this is my partner, Vice President, and he would be introducing himself.
Good afternoon. I am Inderpreet Singh. I am a first-year student enrolled in Supply Chain Management course. I'm running for the Executive Vice President of our student union.
All right, so I'm going to keep our agenda very simple and brief so that every student here can connect with it. So we are working on the agendas of transparency where we can make sure that students have complete access to the memorandums of our meetings that we do and even have a chance to attend the SRC meetings that happens in the Students' Union. And also, there were quite pressing issues that most of us did face when this year, 2023 January intake that happened, where students had academic issues where they couldn't register their courses, where they had to run around to their enrollment centers and talk about people getting it registered. We would want to advocate students on that and make sure that they have a solution for that and an answer received for that. That is also part of our transparency where we want to work around it. And of course, everybody knows the pressing issues that we have in Cape Breton today is the housing, jobs, and transit, where I wouldn't say that the present union hasn't worked around it. they have worked around it, and we would also assist and advocacy and bringing up more improvement in this. And as a current cultural leader here, I would want to ensure that we have more events where students engage themselves, get to know each other, and have an amazing campus life here. Thank you.
Slate 2, your opening remarks.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Harjot, and I am pursuing a Bachelor of Science in Psychology here in the CBU, and this is my 3rd year. And here is my Vice President, Bonnie, and we are solving here many agendas, and I am very confident to stand as the President. We are here to work on the very different agendas, such as very sensitive issues such as sexual harassment happening in the Sydney. It's a more sensitive issue, even though the victims are it's like a very confidential issues for the victims. We can't discuss on the faces over here, but the main thing is we are already solving the issues by making the consent advocacy in the CBU. And there are many more issues of open educational resource. Hope you know that, in the Novanet library, there are many public books that have been published, but the students are still buying the books in the bookstores, and it's very expensive for them to study like this. So I'm already been engaged with the Vice President, the academic Vice President, Mr. Richard McKinnon, and talking more about the issues and making the more books publicly published in the Novanet library, so the students can have the less tensions of the courses, so they can't buy more expensive books in the CBU. Now here is my Vice President. He will introduce himself.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bonnie. I'm a student of Business Analytics. I'm in the 2nd semester. I would like to first of all say that we as humans, we need to evolve every single day of our lives and need to better ourselves. So what I would like to do is get your help. I would like to help you and to get you to help me, to build a community here, to have a more significant impact on our student life, to resolve all of our issues, and so many other things that we could do to, have a much better experience at CBU. That's all I have to say for today. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone.
Slate 3, your opening remarks.
Just make way. Pretty tall. Hello, thanks everyone for being here. Thanks for the ones who are live streaming to watch this debate happening, and thanks for all the persons here present here. My name is Sahil, and the old one knows me by my surname, that's Chattha. So basically from India, I'm running to be your next president for the forthcoming general elections of CBU Student Union. My CBU journey started in fall 2021, and since then, we acknowledged a lot of issues, a lot of them. And me and my friend Giddy, he'll introduce himself and we'll know later.
Hi everyone, I'm not too tall like Sahi, so pardon me. Well, my name is Otwebi Osaro Gideon. This happens to be my 2nd semester in post-bac supply chain management, and I'm honored to run with Sahi here, and together I believe we can do something great for the CBU student and be the voice to every student here in CBU. Thank you.
Coming to the agendas. Every year, I guess, there will be almost same agendas coming on, and one thing that I will expect from a leader as a student is them to provide me efficiently and how fast they can provide. Just to bring you up with a statement from a local taxi owner, the voting never even started, and we got a discount from citywide, the local company, they will be providing student discounts, not 10 or 15%, it will be way lower than that. So just to let you know what kind of leaders we would be, how fast we would be doing the things, and how fast we will make a change around. Because majority of people suffering from that are international students, but we always forgot about the students. And this will bring change for the students as well and international students. For transportation, we will be advocating to bring a long-term change, a really cheap mode of transportation and ideal transportation, talking about bus service, bus passes. We are thinking to bring a lot of change around. And second thing, when we were out there doing some volunteer work, one problem we saw that people never had someone from the union or university to interact with when they were at their house, like back home, either in India, Nigeria, or anywhere. So they were contacting us. Me and my friend Giddy had a lot of contacts by then, at least 400 or 500 students. So student bodies are doing good, but I guess it's a big need to enhance them. So we'll be introducing a student support service desk. We'll be trying to get a helpline number, if it's possible, because there are a lot of things we face during advocating for students. And another thing, I'm a proud ally of the LGBTQ session, and we will be bringing a lot of change around here. So, and the last thing, I guess it's never happened. I will be trying to get time from my working hours. We'll be having a one-on-one, not a debate, just we will be open to viewpoints throughout the year, every bi-weekly or once in a month or twice in a month. As you say, interact with you in the student union.
Thank you
Have a
very
good day.
much. All right, thank you. Slate 4, your opening remarks.
Hello, bonjour, Kwe. Before we will begin, I would like to acknowledge that we reside in Unamaki, the land of fog, the unceded territory of Mi'kmaq people, who we acknowledge as past, present, and future caretaker of this land. Hi, my name is Yash Rawal, and I'm running as a president, and this is my partner.
I'm Olivia McKenzie, and I'm running for executive vice president.
I started my journey at CBU in 2021, and since then I have been actively engaged on campus. You might all have seen me running around with the orange hoodie on and helping to set different cultural and formal events at CBU. I also work as a peer success mentor at Student Affairs. Being engaged with students' body, I got to realize that there are lots of issues going on and there is lots of work to do to improve the student life on campus. As an international student, I also have faced so many challenges that might be the current and new students are facing right now. So I just want to take an initiative on behalf of them, and I want to try to make their life more easy and comfortable during their journey at CBU. And our goals are simple because we just want to bring the transparency into operation and behind the scenes. We also want to increase the student engagement on campus, and we want to advocate students on the job situation and the current housing situation of the Cape Breton Island. And now my partner is going to introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Olivia. I'm a second-year BACS co-op student here at CBU. I started in fall of 2021, and being a local, I see the impact that the international students have on our community and what they've brought to us. I also see the struggles that they're facing. My wish is to help advocate for them and help bring awareness to these issues. I also want to help combine not only the internationals, but the locals and focus on the group as a whole, not just as a single. Thank you.
Slate 5, your opening remarks.
There is definitely a height issue here. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I would like to begin today's speech with a quote that really resonated with me today. It doesn't matter when you start walking, what matters is how far you reach. So keeping this in mind, I am Dr. Supriya Mahajan, and I am standing for the candidacy of President 2023 Student Union elections. I worked with the government in managing drug reform camps, which allowed me to combine my passion for medicine and social work. I am a proud member and an out loud member of LGBTQIA plus 2S community, and an avid world traveler. I love traveling, I swear. I'm supported by Jatin Lohia, who is standing for the candidacy of Executive Vice President of Academics. He has an experience in core project development for the benefit of students in collaboration with the government. He has excellent leadership and problem-solving skills. Together, we hope to bring a revolution to and for the students of CBU. Coming to our agendas, which are actually very important, and you guys are here for listening only that. Firstly, we are committed to working. We are committed to providing more skill-based internships and job opportunities by collaborating with local businesses. Additionally, housing crisis remain the top of our agenda, and definitely 90% of the people who are coming to the university are facing that. So our motive is to increase awareness and protect students from getting scammed. No one likes to see out of service sign on the transit buses, and especially in this cold weather, it is terrible. So we do acknowledge a lot has already been done by the CBU and CBU Transit Union here. So we would like to plan further so that we can increase the transit around. We want to increase the number and accessibility of scholarship options to support the academic excellence of the students. We also want to improve the facilities provided at Cineplex so that it is at par with the ones provided by the CBU. We strongly believe the consent is king, and we want to strive a safe environment for our students in CBU. Summing this up, I would like to highlight that we are aware for the voice of CBU to express it. Our motive shall always be from the students for the students. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. That concludes our opening remarks. Then we will move on to the question portion of this debate. The first question is from me, the moderator. It'll be answered one by one. We'll go in order 1 through 5. And I will repeat the question for you once before you answer if you would like me to. So for all of you right now, you will be responsible for overseeing various student staff members. How will you effectively manage them while also empowering them to excel in their roles to create the best possible CBUSU team? And we'll begin with Slate 1, if you'd like to go to the podium. Once you're at the podium, yes. Once you're up at the podium, yes. All right, ready?
Yep.
You will be responsible for overseeing various student staff members. How will you effectively manage them while also empowering them to excel in their roles to create the best possible CBUSU team?
All right, so I would like to add on to, how would I work on this? See, I come with 12 years of work experience in corporate, so there is always a clash or there would be a state of mind where you wouldn't collaborate or mix hands with each other and work. So it is very important us to make sure that we understand each other. The work culture varies here from one set of students to another set of students. So I think as a student body president, that I would make sure that this understanding between the student body and the executives or the staffs that are working in, so that we can work combinedly and make things work in a very smooth way. Because I've already been working with the students union, and I know initially it was not that easy to get along until understand the system. So once you get into the system, understand the system and how it can be put hands together and bring in a framework where each and every aspects of it could bind in and make things work in a very smooth and efficient way. Thank you.
Thank you. Slate 2. Would you like me to repeat the question?
Yeah, it would be helpful.
Yes. You will be responsible for overseeing various student staff members. How will you effectively manage them while also empowering them to excel in their roles to create the best possible CBU SU team?
As I see, like every position should be categorized according to their experiences in the and their searching over their backgrounds in the particular field. That would be more easy for me to make them position on that similar position so that they could work effectively, efficiently over there. And like it's like a good thing to check over the particular position. Like the people have the, like my vice president have the experience in the 12 years of corporate jobs. So it's like if I give him, if he stay over there, so holding the vice president position, it would be more good, like because he's eligible for that position. I'm just not just like assigning. We will not be assigning the position according to their interest. Not like if they are like fond of some activity in the CBU SU. So it would be good to like first having their background information and making them assigned on that particular position. That would be a more effective way. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Slate 3.
And it goes up again.
Would you like me to repeat the question?
I'm okay with that.
You're okay?
Yeah. So I guess I have a good side here. I'm a student of public administration and have done my both courses for human resource management. From my technical side, I'll probably have them make an application for us, you say, an employee assessment application where they report to me, and that will be way more efficient for all of us to, interact with each other, so that the other coordinators, suppose one backdraw, I'm not personally triggering that thing. So I talked about the student support desk, right? So GHI, as we saw, was not that efficient throughout the first month before the intake. And definitely changing those patterns, making new, way more efficient coordinative teams than that. And creating a place with a good work environment. And another thing I would like to add on, we'll be probably having a meeting. We usually have SRC meeting, but on that meeting, if anyone is harassing anyone is blaming anyone is personally triggering anyone, or is in a hindrance to anyone's work, so that would not be appreciated under our time of running for the president. And thank you so much, guys.
Slate 4. Would you like me to repeat the question?
Yep.
Yeah? You will be responsible for overseeing various student staff members. How will you effectively manage them while also empowering them to excel in their roles to create the best possible CBU SU team?
So I believe that communication is going to be the key factor that's going to help the students and the staff member to solve this problem. And I also believe that I do not want to work as a boss, and I will work with them as a leader. I think a good behavior with the students and staff encourage them to work really hard and good with you. If you are behaving good with them, you are understanding their problems, or you are being actively involved with them. These are the key factors that make a really good team. And I also held the experience of working with the different departments such as events team, peer success, mentor teams, and CBU Week of Welcome team. And all of these teams are really, really diverse, and we all come from a different country and different religion. Still, we overcome all the problems, and we always work together in harmony, and we always get a good feedback from our faculty and the staff members. So I think if I'm going to be elected as a president of a student union, I would be a good leader. Thank you.
Slate 5. Would you like me to repeat the question?
Thank you. Thank you so much for asking us this question. I believe that working as a team is very important. I have had this experience. I was working with the government for around 3 years, and I had an experience to lead a bunch of doctors, some government officials, some patients, and then work on it for around a good time. And I was given the opportunity to lead my city staff. So I know how to take a team together and work. It is not always about the leadership qualities you have, but it is always about how you take your team forward and keep them with you at every step. As a team, me and Jatin would be taking care of all the things, especially the leadership content we can give to other CBU staff members, and definitely some workshops that can be given to the students who really want to indulge in the leadership activities in the future. We also want to see that every member of my team and my staff would be engaging with us, and there would be a good communication skill within all of us, I guess. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The next portion will be audience to candidate questions. We have mixed up the order of the slates, so I will be calling your slate when it's your turn and selecting them randomly from this lovely basket of questions. Before we get started, I'd like to ask again for you to put your phones away and stop talking while people are presenting. Thank you so much. All right, we're going to get started with slate number 2. Would you like to go to the podium? I'm asking you an audience question, so just head up to the podium and I'll... Ready?
Yeah.
Transportation is the most important factor for students. It is proving an issue for all. Do you have any solutions?
Yeah, basically, like increasing the transportation is the only solution to this problem, because the transportation increased in the CBRM community. It would also help in the household, solving the housing crisis, because the more long route you have of the buses, it's more over, like you can see over the places like Hobby Center, Westmount. There are many homes and many rentals, like buildings over there that are being vacant. They are searching for the tenants. The students are not just going over there just because of lack of the transits. So increasing the buses route in the Sydney, as it has been already funded. So it would be easy to make the routes to the Hobby Center, Westmount. That will increase the transit. That will increase the housing solutions and also overcome the transit problems. So that was all. Thank you.
Thank you. Slate number 3, you're up. How would your slate ensure that new students feel engaged within the CBU community?
The major problem we saw, students are not aware what CBU Student Union offers them. They do not have any helpline number to interact with them. If they get stuck anywhere, as we know, Cape Breton is a storm-prone area, so there's a lot of snowstorms, and like Fiona recently happened, so there were a lot of outside volunteers who helped in that time. I want Student Union and CBU to engage together and help students with that. And I talked about that, making the help desk. So when we enter CBU, we never see a guy who comes with us to the place where we want to go. Because the day I came here, I asked everyone, where is this office? They're like, go to that block, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. And I don't know where that block is, right? So I guess there should be a team for that, for the new students. And the student support service we will be bringing in that will be responsible. I will be making sure that it will be doing airport pickups for the whole month, because we saw that CBU did that for 5 days for the new students, right? And I don't think that was a big number. We did that for 3 weeks, and the numbers we got were around 400 students. So that's a big number that we cannot really exclude from helping, right? So basically, this will be helping students in every way possible. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Slate 1. If I could get you all to stop talking, that'd be fabulous. Thank you. Ready? How would your slate improve student access to the student food bank and increase funding for the food bank?
All right, that's a very good question. So, like I mentioned earlier, I've also been part of the Students' Union. So I know what goes around and how the Students' Union functions. Food bank has been a really good setup that has been help to students, especially at the time of hurricane, where there was an additional funding that was given from the university, and there was also funds raised and students were given food with this. So as my team that would come into how we would work around this, so now that we see students every other day come to Students' Union, and the number of students that they get this food bank, the package that they get is just 50 students. So probably we would have to utilize a bigger space, increase your bigger inventory, and we do have fundings for this where we can utilize this to provide access to more students with increasing the number of students who can get into this, make much more aware of it, take input from students as to what are the things that you want. And then not everything that goes into it is useful or helpful to them. I see certain of students come back and then say that we don't want this, but probably work around the roadmap and say that this is what we want, this is what we would want to include in it and not this. So probably that is one of the ways that my team would be able to make this more accessible to students. Thank you.
Slate 5. During your time as a student, what involvement did you have within the campus community, and how will you use that experience to shape your team?
This is actually a very interesting question for me because, to be very frank, I am from the first semester, and this is my first time in CBU. So I am really thankful to CBU for making a very good engagement for us. I guess the initial 5 days where we have this nervousness, like we are new, we are not able to talk to people. So those 5 days, those 5 events were really eventful for us, all of us who are from the first semester. We were able to interact with people. We were able to interact with second and third semester people who were there for guiding us. And I am really lucky to find some friends who have been helping us that way. So I guess the initial part was good, and then again there are some of the other activities which is going on in CBU. Sometimes there's a theater group, sometimes a games area, and the CBU championship games keep happening. So it is a good engagement which is provided. If I come up as a leader, I do want to add on some more things like events for artist students, events for the people who are more interested in theater and can make an individual group out of it. So definitely I would like to add more things which would be engaging for all the students. Thank you.
Slate 4. What do you feel has been your best experience as a CBU student, and how will you ensure future students also have a positive student life experience?
I have so many positive experiences at CBU. So I arrived at the CBU in 2021, and my first week of welcome was really amazing. It was so many fun activities for new students, as well as we all communities were indulging in different events. We also had the bonfires, lots of video games, trivia, and I don't know how many games and stuff I enjoyed during that time. And I made lots of new friends that time, and I wasn't aware about all the community and the different culture all around the world. I made so many new friends and connection. At the beginning, I was feeling really homesick, and I was like, this is a really new country for me. How I would be ever get sad or get used to the Canadian weather and culture. But all the friends I made during the week of welcome, they took my homesickness away. I was feeling really happy, and they made me that I'm at my home. Apart from them, the volunteer work I did for the different departments, that really made me feel good about myself, that I really helped so many students during my volunteer work. So that's all. CBU is a really good place to enjoy your graduation life.
And we would like to continue this throughout the semesters to help the new current students engage, and not just limited to Week of Welcome, but have activities actively throughout the semester. Thank you.
The next round of questions will be candidate to candidate. Their questions were submitted previous to this debate, and I will be asking them. We have also mixed up the order of teams for this as well, just to keep you on your toes. So, Slate 5, you will be the first people to answer a question. Could you please go to the podium? All right. Slate 1 asks, experience and engagement of the SU is one of the integral parts of being a student body president. What experience do you have working with administrators?
I was actually hoping I would get this question. Definitely, I've been highlighted as a first semester student, so people think that I have not done anything. But in this thing, I would definitely say one thing. I have a VP that is from the third semester who has been helping students. So I am making use of the experience he has, and I can make it more powerful with my experience from the past in my hometown, and actually make it more useful for the students around. The main thing is not about being a new student or about being an experienced student. The main thing is like using what you have in mind and actually using for the benefit of the students. The struggles I have faced, I guess nobody has. The first semester things which we are going through, the housing crisis, the weather changes, the transit crisis, and not so. So right now, I guess if I can use the experience of a third semester student for the benefit of the students, I can actually use this to my advantage and use the experience of all of the student union members and actually make a powerful team which everyone would remember. Would you like to add something?
Yeah. Hi guys. I want to just conclude in one line. Once a leader is always a leader. Thank you.
Thank you.
Slate 1, the next question is for you. This question is from Slate number 2. If you are elected to the student union, what do you as a leader bring to this position that will help promote growth in student services?
Okay. So what would I do if I'm elected as a president to bring in growth in the student, what was the last line, please?
To help promote growth in student services.
All right, student services. So, like we all know that, there is a lot of basic issues that we're facing, like I spoke about the academic one, where students really had to struggle to get their course registered or have an answer for it. So if I would have been elected as a president, first and foremost, what I would do is get a framework done, structure, like every semester we know how many students are coming in, what is the number that is coming in, why we need to organize it in such a way that anticipate what is going to happen next. Keep your services ready. Once your course are registered, next thing student would do is you put your job. So have your list of jobbings ready. Your housing, probably give them a platform where you can say this is where you can go, reach out to people. And then next would be the engagement activities or your buddy program. People do not know once you come into campus where to go, what not to go. So you need to have a framework or a structured roadmap as to this is how you're going to intend and start service, interlink each and every services that you want to give, interlink each other and have a complete framework. That's what I would do if I'm elected as a president. Thank you.
Slate number 3, this question's for you. Slate number 5 asks, CBU enrolls students from more than 70 different nations, and we value diversity and equality. We noticed on one of your campaign posts that you specifically highlighted 2 communities. How do you justify this?
I don't see us as different communities. I see all of us as students. I'm not representing North India or South India here. He's not representing Nigeria or any African country here. We are here to represent students. We will be the voice of students. I want to advocate for students every way possible. Every inch of myself, I will devote it for that. And
Please keep your clapping to the end as we discussed at the beginning of this debate. Thank you.
the only problem, we expect from the leaders the things they are not actually have to do. We should know what you should expect from us. We are already diverse. To be clear, we are already diverse here. You can see here, people are from Nigeria, 2 people are from Kenya, 2 people are from India, 2 people are from every part of the world, as we mentioned, the 70 countries. One experience, what we say, like, we will ask for the votes, right? When we never saw which country or region were you from when we were out there, or any of them was out there helping you guys, why are you seeing us as from different communities while voting, right? Why are you seeing which part I'm from? The first friends that I made when I came to CBU in the fall were Nigerians. I pretty much know everyone. I guess I know more Nigerians than Giri here, to be honest. So it's not that we just collide together just for the votes. We want to be together and we want to be the voice of all, and we are open to suggestions every time you come to us. Doesn't matter which community or country you're from. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Before we move on to the next question, a reminder, do not clap while they're answering. We do not pause their timer, so you're just taking time away from your candidates. The next question is for Slate 4. Slate 3 asks, are student loans and work burden exploitive for students? If yes, how would you resolve this issue?
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
Yep. Are student loans and work burden exploitive for students? If yes, how would you resolve this issue?
I'm also an international student, and I think like for the international students, the fees are really expensive here, but that's not something like we can help the international students, because if you are choosing to like study in a different country, that's really on you, that like you should manage your students loan by yourself, because you are here to make your future bright. And
We understand that studying here comes with a cost. The Canadian students technically do pay the same rate as internationals, but the government prorates part of it for us. We have some of the cheapest tuition in Canada, and that's why internationals come here. You are here to better yourselves and educate yourselves. Yes, it can be a burden and the workload can be intense, but in the future it will pay off and you will be able to fill out those loans. You are here to better yourselves, and it is expensive and it is rough, but you will get through it. Thank you.
Slate number 2, this question is for you. Slate number 4 asks, What measures will you implement to facilitate the integration and unification of diverse communities and cultures present on our campus?
Actually, that has been already implemented, but we can increase the celebrated events of each community, so that would make more diverse spaces, more unifications on the campus, because increasing the every events of the community, celebrating them, like the lunar year for the students came from China, and every other students coming from the every other parts of the any nations, and celebrating the events from there. That would be a more good thing for the unification on the campus. Other than that, increasing the communication with the other students. For example, the CBU already have the societies such as like a biology society, and every sports have its own different society. Engaging with that increase our communication skills and making the diverse unity together. And that was all from my side. Thank you.
We will now do another round of questions from the audience. Once again, we've mixed up your numbers, so I'll call you up when it's your turn. I am hearing quite a bit of chatter from the audience, so if you could try and just keep it down so that everyone has the same chance to speak. That'd be great, thank you. Slate 3, you are up first.
Here it goes again.
What do you see as the most pressing issue for CBU students, and how would you address it?
Most pressing student issue. I won't say CBU students. I say the issue I see myself. I don't know why only thing we talk about is diversity. No one is openly talking about jobs, accommodations, housing, transportation. That are the big issues we are really facing. Talking about transportation, the buses. I mean, there are buses, but they're always full. We don't have a tracker. We have actually a tracker on CB Transit page, but we don't know about that. And the other thing I see is they lack mental encouragement. A lot of students, to be exact with the count, around 90 students moved from Sydney to Halifax in their very first semester in search of jobs. They already have a student loan on their head, and they're still going to Halifax for the jobs, and they are still coming up and back to and from Sydney every week for their classes. So I do not appreciate that, and I just came up with this idea. I'll probably make a committee or a society or anything which will be open for the students to suggest them what they want to do or what they should do right here, right? Thank you so much.
Well, like my Sahir has said already, we're going to work tirelessly for the CBU students, and the major problem is a problem that has been on, and I believe our predecessors have already been on it. We're just going to see how we can improve from where they've started, and regarding more of the job issue, the accommodation, we'll try our best, and we believe we can do that. Thank you.
Slate 1.
You're giving me a tough time, huh?
Ready?
Yeah.
Why are campus societies and/or clubs so important to the student experience, and what will you do to empower more societies and clubs to start up?
Okay. So when we come as a student, it's not just about your academics, your work. So it's all about how you have a diverse and a well-included social life in college as well. So the societies that we have, it's formed for a reason, that is other than your academic concentration, students can also involve in the societies or in a field that they are interested in, bring out their best versions in it. So we do have a lot of societies in our CBU Students Union, but I think not most of them are aware of it. That first thing that we want to make sure students get aware of it. And how would we encourage this is, I've come across a lot of students who have dropped by my office and said that where can I go meet the society head or a society coordinator where I want to start up a new society, let's say for arts and craft. So this is very important for students in order to balance their life, not just your social life and not just your personal life where you run around to get your job, your household. I know all of us have loans and stuff to do, but then that's one of the way to balance your mental health. So I think, yeah, societies and other recreational activities are also important for students, and I would definitely encourage more of it to have in our upcoming, if you are elected or in power. Thank you.
Slate 5. How would your slate improve domestic student engagement within the student union and across the CBU community?
Thank you for asking this question, and I definitely wanted the local students or the domestic students to get involved in this election. It is very important to not just follow in a community, it is about to follow all the students. So for us, the equality is the most important thing. We would want every kind of community to be in the team so that they could do good for the students. And definitely one community can count on one person, but in our team, there would be all kinds of communities so that they can count on all the people. I guess I would like Jatin to add something more.
Hi guys. Definitely adding on to what Supriya said, I would say that diversity brings experiences, plans, ideas. I think in our backcountry, we must be experiencing things which not only affected our professional lives, but also our personal lives as well. So here at CBU, the domestic students obviously are adding up the values, so we will continue this legacy in our tenure as well. Thank you.
Slate 4. As you are aware, the CBU Students' Union has multiple centers in its organization. What will your slate do to improve support to these centers?
So we have so many friends who work for multiple centers within CBU, and we have been talking to them and listening to what they want to do. We want to help promote these centers more, have an Instagram page dedicated to the societies to actively be sharing stuff. So it's not individual pages, you can find all the information on one page. We want to talk to the communities and see what events they want to hold and how we can support them within holding their events. All the centers that we have, they're amazing and they help students so much. The Women's Center, the PACU, the Multicultural Hub are just a few of these amazing facilities, and I believe they're not being utilized enough. I think we need to get the services out, and many students are not aware of what is available. So that is a big goal of ours, is to make the awareness and educate the students on what's available to them. Thank you.
Slate number 2. The Student Union is part of the Canadian Federation of Students and a current member of Students Nova Scotia. How would you work with these organizations to advocate for students?
First of all, we need to make a roadmap so that we could follow the guidelines according to that, making up some actions and events, and engaging with the outside community and the other placement agencies, because increasing everything could be in the power. So we need to first discuss with them regarding the issues faced in the CBRM, and moreover, if we get an opportunity to work with them, there will be our we will be blessed to work with them, because solving the issues while engaging with them will make our team best and making the more efforts. So that was from my side. Thank you.
All right, we are back to a moderator question, and we are running ahead of time, so we have a special treat for you guys. I will actually be asking you 2 moderator questions, one at a time, of course. So we'll start with Slate 5 answering the first one. All right, the question is, and I'll say it twice for you. You will encounter issues such as housing and job scarcity that you are unable to tackle independently. How will you approach issues that will require outside assistance or advocate for student issues that are outside the scope of the students' union? So again, you will encounter issues such as housing and job scarcity that you are unable to tackle independently. How will you approach issues that will require outside assistance or advocate for student issues that are outside the scope of the students' union?
Thank you so much for asking this question. So I would want to add one thing to this question. We did have this on our agenda. There is a lot of housing, there's a lot of housing issues here right now, and alone the CBU or the CBU can't do anything. So we would love to include the alumni members of CBU and also some of the students who can volunteer openly with us, and so that we can form a team, and the people who are having housing issues, we can coordinate with the local community, with the local landlords, so that we can contribute to the society and do something for the housing which would be affordable for the students, as well would be accomplished with the rules or the opportunities which the landlords would be having. One thing more I would be adding, CBU provides a lot of volunteership options, but volunteering for the benefit of the students would be, I guess, the 90% agenda for everyone here. So I guess no one would deny the fact of volunteering for the betterment of the housing.
No, that's fine.
Thank you so much.
Slate 4. Would you like me to repeat the question?
Yes, please.
You will encounter issues such as housing and job scarcity that you are unable to tackle independently. How will you approach issues that will require outside assistance or advocate for student issues that are outside the scope of the students' union?
So first, we would like to have a strong line of communication with the executives of CBU. We want to push them and advocate for the housing and job problems that the students are facing. We also want to reach out to local businesses, landowners, to see what we can implement to help with the housing crisis and job crisis. Apart from that, we would like to implement measures in the CBU that can assist. For example, we want to put in the co-curricular record that is currently active at CBU that not many people are aware of. It is a complete transcript of every single volunteer experience that you can put on there, and it's very good for employers. We'd also like to implement a volunteer program. So you go volunteer, you get your hours signed off, and the CBU gives you a signed certificate stating that you have volunteered that you can put on your resume. We also want to encourage students to head to student affairs, where they're actively engaging in helping resume development and helping prepare for interviews. Along with this, we have talked to a few professors, and we would like to implement workshops where students can go get interview training and go get the necessary skills that they need for the job market and see how the economy is working and with the housing. Thank you very much.
Slate number 2. Would you like me to repeat the question?
Yeah.
You will encounter issues such as housing and job scarcity that you are unable to tackle independently. How will you approach issues that will require outside assistance or advocate for student issues that are outside the scope of the Students' Union?
First of all, going outside and looking for housing crisis and the job, we could see like the Cabot Hall, like the Harris Hall and the Cabot Residence, they already have the plan for the students to stay over there, but they actually give the meal plan with that. That's actually quite expensive for them to take together. So cutting the meal options from the residence plan, that would be a much better for the students to stay over here, and that will solve the many housing problems in the CBRM. Apart from this, the people who are come here, they just come from the studies and they are not getting any initial placements over here for the particular courses. So that would be a more good thing to hold job fairs over the campus. That would increase the more jobs option for the students and reducing the job and the housing crisis. That's for all. Thank you.
Slate 3. Would you like me to repeat?
Go on, please.
You will encounter issues such as housing and job scarcity that you are unable to tackle independently. How will you approach issues that will require outside assistance or advocate for student issues that are outside the scope of the Students' Union?
Well, I think it's an occurrence issue and it's going to be an issue to continue, but what we're going to do is try as much as possible to talk to some of the stakeholders, both the internal and the external, to see how we can be of help to our major students, which we are representing. And moreover, our plans is as well as to see if we can meet non-profit organizations and some other organizations to see how we can be there for our students.
First thing I would like to say about housing. Housing verification is a big problem. There is a CBU student union van sitting on the same parking lot every time I see there. From the next time, before every intake, that will be out going verify housing for the students coming here for the first time. And for the jobs, I never hear CBU giving placements during the course we are doing, right? We expect jobs after we complete our study. So we will be collaborating with bodies, maybe internal or external, to offer jobs through student union, not any external body. For even housing, we just share ads. I've seen some pages, I've seen the coordinators, they're sharing ads, and half of them, we help them verify those ads. So we will be verifying and then sharing not even sharing, we will be, advocating for them in every way possible we can. Thank you so much.
Slate number 1. We didn't think about that when we made the order, sorry.
Yeah, I think I should have had a little stool and just talking.
Would you like me to repeat the question?
Yes, please.
You will encounter issues such as housing and job scarcity that you are unable to tackle independently. How will you approach issues that will require outside assistance or advocate for student issues that are outside the scope of the Students' Union?
Yeah, so this is, like all our candidates mentioned, this is one of the present issue that we already have. So yes, there are certain aspects of it where student union will not have the ultimate power to take the utmost decisions of it, but there are certain aspects of it where we could pitch in. For instance, is the housing. Yes, housing is a big issue here. And as Sahil mentioned, that we do have coordinators who put up the housing ads and stuff. So what I would suggest doing is get in touch with a third party, get a housing listing, get it certified, saying that these are the number of houses that we have in and around CBU. A student can rely on it, saying that okay, this is certified, and they have some surety that we do have a list of housings that they can rely upon. Reach out to alumni, ask them what would be the best way to get this solved, or have a committee meet up with students and say what are they exactly looking for, what in what way do they expect students or union representatives to solve this? I think we also have a pretty good example here, whereas the travel lodge was usually just, before it was just as a hotel, but then later on it was now where students have an accommodation. And so there are different ways of solutions where you can bring up by getting along with people, contacting them, making a list of it and working together. So that would be one of the way where we could pitch in ourselves when we do not have the ultimate power or we cannot conclude things from our end. Thank you.
It is now time for the bonus moderator question. I'll read the question out once and then I'll call you up to answer it, and I'll repeat it for you when you're up there. So the question is, what is your plan for increasing awareness of the Ekian Indigenous Liaison Center and building a strong relationship with Unama'ki College? Team 2, you will answer first.
Building a relationship with the Mi'kmaq Society and the Unama'ki College just on the CBU campus, it should be introduced to the Cineplex too. And moreover, the thing is, like, as we already talked about the diversity, there is a more of diverse students studying over here. First of all, we need to focus, like, the people in the CBU are enjoying the different facilities rather than in a Cineplex. They are out of the events occurring over here. So making everyone unite is like the first priority, so that the students can have the every event enjoyed over the CBU campus. And moreover, what was the, like, can you repeat the last question?
What is your plan for increasing awareness of the Ekian Indigenous Liaison Center and building a strong relationship with Unama'ki College?
As we can see, there are less indigenous students, like from the Unama'ki, the Red Indian student, they are less of the campus. They could be easily in the campus by making them more organized, by making them more engaged in the activities held on the campus. That would be the final answer to this question. Thank you.
Slate 5. Would you like me to repeat the question?
Yes.
What is your plan for increasing awareness of the Ekian Indigenous Liaison Center and building a strong relationship with Unama'ki College?
Thank you for asking this question. I would like to begin by acknowledging that Cape Breton University is located in Mi'kmaqi, ancestral unceded territory of Mi'kmaqi people. We acknowledge the history and the rich culture that they have. CBU has used these resources for the upliftment of the community. Thousands of students have graduated from Unama'ki College and have good jobs and people. Just like CBU has been supporting them for academia, we would love to support the diversity and bring more diversity around and be a part of every community, as we have this motto from the starting. We definitely want everyone, though it is the indigenous people, the Canadians, the Indian community, the Philippines, all over, I guess 176 countries are a part of CBU right now. So we want each and every person to be a part and feel the same, like the equality should be there between the students, that they feel like they are the religion is the student. Thank you so much.
Slate number 1. Would you like me to repeat the question? What is your plan for increasing awareness of the Ekian Indigenous Liaison Center and building a strong relationship with Unama'ki College?
Okay. So we do have an Indigenous Center in our Students' Union, which every now and then have cultural events and collaborative events with our multicultural hub also. So what I would do is how to make people aware of this is one is the cultural exchange. I think we should have a session or bring people together, exchange about your culture. Let our international students know about Unamagi or indigenous, and we let to know them about theirs. Have a collaborative event. So I did one of an event where I had collaborated an event with the indigenous team where we wanted to learn their culture of art making. So that is how we get involved. You get to know each other, exchange culture, exchange history. And we also had a celebration of Unamaki Day where we had their culture being displayed. So I think we should do more of those where people get to know that this is an indigenous group that is there and how they were formed, what was the history behind it, how did they evolve, and vice versa. So I think that would be the best way to get this in a frame. Thank you.
Slate number 4. Would you like me to repeat the question?
Oh, no, I'm good. Thanks.
Okay.
As I mentioned earlier, my team is really diverse, and I really have some of my friends who are indigenous, and they feel like people don't know much about the indigenous people, and I also have connection with some indigenous representative who already work for the student union, and we also had a meeting with them, like how they feel about this current situation of CBU, and we came to a conclusion like they want to promote themselves, they want to educate students about their holidays, their culture, and their language. So I think like if we are going to elect it as a president, we are going to allocate some special seats to special for indigenous people, and we are going to do a monthly meeting, and we are planning to be consistent on that meetings to heard that thought as well.
To continue on with what Yash just said, we want to take traditions. We love the Economic College and everything they stand for, but all their events, we want to take it and bring it out of the Economic College and let everyone be aware of it. They hold monthly powwows that I personally was not aware of, and I would have loved to attend it if I were to know. We want to advertise for them and promote their events. Holidays, traditions such as Orange Shirt Day was missed this year. It holds a very special place for Indigenous people, and it's such an important cause. We want to put their traditions out into the university more. Thank you.
Slate 5. Oh, sorry, Slate 3. I read the wrong sign. It's really far away. I have terrible eyesight. Would you like me to repeat the question?
Not really.
Okay.
Well, this has to do with cultural diversity, which we are actually planning to work on. And we want to know more about the indigenous people. As a university, I think there needs to be what they call a cultural international day, whereby we can get to meet all culture. Like as you can see, and say we are already diverse in terms of culture. And culture is a way of life, and it's so beautiful. So left for us, we want to really know much about the indigenous people, carry them along. Let's see how we can have what they call International Cultural Day.
The way I see this, why are we just talking like they are some other people? They are students as well, they are one of us. I've been driving taxi for a year, and I'm living with a lot of friends who are indigenous in my class, Tyra, as she's sitting over there. So, from my side, next time when there is an indigenous event going on, I will be there. I'll get all my friends, our union will be there, so that people could see that we are with them, we are a part of them. We do not consider them as a separate entity. We are all together here as students. That's our message. We are not Nigerians, Indians, Indonesians, or Mi'kmaq or anything. So we are students. So just feel like students here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. That concludes the question portion of this debate. We are now going to move on to closing remarks. Slate 4 is up first for your closing remarks. You have 3 minutes.
I would first like to thank everyone for being here and giving your time to come and listen to us. I would like to thank Eleanor, the moderator, for asking us these wonderful questions, and the audience for giving some to us as well. Thank you to Alex, our CRO, and the student union, and the staff who helped put this event together. I would like to congratulate all of the other slates on a job well done. I believe all your points you made were amazing, and no matter who gets elected, I believe the student union is in great hands. Yash?
So, as a closing statement, I would like to talk about some of our agenda that we want to work during the upcoming year. So first is like we are going to try our best to bring the transparency about our operations. We are going to work more on the job situation. We do not promise to like hand over the jobs to each and every students, but we are going to make themselves capable so they can find jobs by themselves. And I just want to make sure after getting a degree from the CBU, they can find a good job and they feel really good. They will have a good experience from the CBU. And we are also going to push CBU furthermore about the housing situation of the Cape Breton Island. We are going to keep pushing, and we are going to send a regular emails to the students about the current situation of the housing, so they can have a good idea before moving to the Canada, like what the situation and what the problem they have to face if they decide to come here unprepared. I'm not saying like we are not here to help them, but I just want to give them a realistic situation of the CBU, because they have to understand like this problems, they cannot be solved overnight. We have to like keep working hard on this problem. So I would like to have your support during this election. Thank you.
I would also like to add something. It is lovely to view each and every single one of us as one giant community, and I believe that's a very important thing to look at. But I also do believe it's very important to recognize where we come from. If grouping everyone together, you're losing culture. You need to embrace where you come from, embrace the unification of everyone, not only focusing on your own culture, but learning about the others at CBU. Thank you.
We will now have closing statements from Slate 5.
Not a problem with me. Hi guys, my name is Jatin Lohia. First of all, I would like to thank everybody to reaching out to our Caper Times article. It has the maximum views. Thank you so much. It's almost 1:30 right now. I know you guys must be hungry, but I can only offer you food for thought. Without wasting any more time, I would like to continue to what my fellow president candidate, Supriya, said about our agenda, and will summarize what I and my team is doing for students since September. On the field, I would like to highlight some key points, first being affordability and availability of housing in the university region. After careful stats and surveys, we know that approximately 60% of the population of this area is aging 65 years and above, and 30% are single parents. We plan to bridge a gap between the people who will benefit from a supplement caretaker and students who need a home. We can also formally request the CBRM, in collaboration with CBU, to take over vacant properties to convert them into off-residential housing. We will build a trust in the community by establishing coordinators to aid with the process. In regard to jobs and internships, after extensive research with approximately, say, 18 of the employers, 200 of the community members, we found out that employers are highly interested in hiring students, but they are either not able to properly reach out to them or are unable to hire them because of their certain regulations. In addition to fixing these issues, through a mutual forum, we also want to encourage more employers to come under AIP so that we shouldn't go to Halifax. The ultimate ingredient to complement these agendas in our core values, to begin with, we believe in accountability, transparency, accessibility, integrity, and diversity. Accountability means taking responsibilities for our actions and decisions. As leaders, we hold ourselves accountable for the consequences of our actions. We believe in being open and transparent by sharing regular information updates with the students. We want to make sure that everyone has equal access to the information, services, opportunities, because every child here matters. I would like to end this speech by asking your support and wishing the other candidates all the best for the coming elections. As words may inspire, but action creates change, and that is what I intend to do. The campaign is a teaser, today's debate is a trailer, and the movie is yet to come. Thank you.
Slate 3, your closing statements.
Thanks for the height, Jatin. At the end, I would like to express my gratitude to all my fellow contestants, Amulya, Inderpreet, Supriya, Jatin, Yash, Olivia, Harjot, and Boni, to the moderators, to all public here, the ones who are watching the live stream. One thing we all know, that the current situation of housing, accommodation, or CBU is not in a very high appraise, or it is facing a lot of criticism. When we will graduate, I want us to graduate as proud alumni. I want us to say proudly that yes, we were part of CBU, not just saying, oh, it was that, not discussing the problems, just the solutions we did as a team all together. Thank you.
Just a hard on, we are diverse mind, but we have an equal voice. Thank you.
Slate 1, your closing statements. Sorry. I didn't make the order.
Thank you for listening to us. We know that life here as a student is difficult. If given a chance, we would work for you. We will advocate for you to make your life a little less difficult. Thank you.
Yep, so I would like to thank all the facilitators, who are the moderators, CRO, Alex, and all the audience here, and of course my fellow contestants. Just to add on, before we close it, so if we are elected as the upcoming president, and I'm not going to do this first. Yeah. So what I would like to add on into my closing statement is, as our fellow candidate Sahil mentioned about the discounts that will be available for taxis and the student helpline. So we would definitely want to implement that if we are in the power of presidential. And also I want to thank every student that who have put up your best questions out there and bringing out the best in us. Thank you so much for that. And of course, we will still stick to our agenda of being transparent. It's going to be a two-way communication, not just one. Listen to you, and we would hear out to you and deliver what is the best for you guys, I would say. Thank you.
Slate number 2, your closing statement.
With the blessings of Almighty, I got a golden chance to stand as a president in the elections. And talking less about the agendas, first should be discussed about what I get a chance to do for a community before this. Earlier in the Corona, I got a golden chance to be a food server in a community and helping the humanity. Apart from that, I worked as a frontline worker in the Fiona. And talking about the housing crisis, there is already a group running over there named Housing Seva, and that's already being certifying the houses, making students protected against the frauds. And we already talked about the Partner Against Fraud running in the Nova Scotia, and they already run the helpline. I already posted about that things because the students are more viable to the housing frauds. So we are already running on that issue. And the last thing I would like to say, this time we need your support to make a change. Thank you.
You know, I would like to offer you so much, like, you know, lower homework, lower fees, and so many things like that. And if I could do that with a snap of my finger, obviously I would do it. But obviously, if it was possible at all by anyone would have done it. But obviously that's not why we are here. We are here to elect the best leader for you. And I hope that you will take this opportunity to choose the best possible leader for you, who will work for you and who will bring a positive impact to your life in the university, and so that you can look back and say that, yes, I had a good experience at my university. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone. I'd now like to introduce our Chief Returning Officer, Samarjeet.
I got myself a cordless mic just in case I have to follow Sahil. So, hi everyone, my name is Samarjeet Singh. I'm the Chief Returning Officer, as Eleanor mentioned. Thank you everyone for showing up. I was not expecting such a huge crowd. So a big applause to all of you guys. It shows your interest. I heard you guys, beautiful, and I wish you all the best. I would just like to encourage you all to go out there and vote. The voting goes live tonight. It's going to be on 7th and the 8th of Feb. And just want to again remind you as well that apart from the president and the vice president candidate, we also have the SRC candidates who are running. So we're going to get a link for that. So for example, if you're in Shannon School, you'll get a vote for Shannon people, and accordingly. And also there's going to be a referendum question for the student Nova Scotia. And before I end here, I just want you guys to hear from him, because he's going to be representing the student Nova Scotia. So just look out for a question. And once again, do vote. It's important. Nakul.
So hello everyone, my name is Nakul, and this year I am representing the yes side of the referendum for CBSU to once again become the permanent member of Student Nova Scotia. Student Nova Scotia is a non-profit advocacy group representing 20,000 plus students from Nova Scotia, from different universities, Dalhousie, St. Mary, Acadia. Through research and campaign, they share student priorities with government, advocating for improvements to make education more accessible, affordable, and high quality. CBUSU was a student Nova Scotia member from 2009 to 2015 and rejoined in 2022. This winter, students will vote on making membership permanent, ensure the student voice continues to be heard for decision makers. Student Nova Scotia is a for and by student organization, and its board of directors is made up of the president and executive vice president of each student union. These directors decide on Student Nova Scotia advocacy priorities and direction each year based on what they hear from their students. Student Nova Scotia then researches priority issues, develops recommendations, and shares these recommendations with decision makers. Last year, Student Nova Scotia delegates with over 30 MLAs over the course of their advocacy week to share student issues. Among other things, Student Nova Scotia advocates for predictable tuition and fees, increased financial aid, expanded mental health resources, international student supports, and student employment. The advocacy has led to millions of dollars of government investments and more money directly into students' pockets. This includes huge investment in financial assistance programs, $1 million annually for mental health and sexual violence prevention and expansion of students and graduate employment programs. In 2022, Student Nova Scotia successfully advocated for the removal of 31 days out of province restriction for medical service insurance, MSI, increasing healthcare accessibility for international students. They also released a housing report with 22 recommendations for government and universities to support affordable housing report with 22 recommendations for government and universities to support affordable, accessible, and quality student housing. These recommendations will be central to Nova Scotia's soon-to-be-released student housing strategy. This February, vote yes to the referendum question of CBU students becoming permanent members of Student Nova Scotia. For this, we have to pay $5.99 full-time students for 1 year and $3.57 for part-time students for whole year, to ensure the CBU students' voice continues to be heard by decision makers at both the institutional and provincial level. By voting in favor, you have the opportunity to ensure that the issues facing CBU students remain front and center for student advocates for years to come. To learn more, you can follow our page at Instagram, Vote Yes to SNS, and if you want, you can reach out to me in the campus. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much. That concludes the debate for the 2023 Student Union President and Vice President. Thank you all for putting their name forward to run. The student voice is incredibly important within a post-secondary institution, and it is vital that the student body take part in the democratic process of voting. So please make sure you and your friends get out on election day and put your vote forward. This debate was filmed and will be posted for you to watch back and share with your friends if you would like to see any of this again. Thank you very much and have a great day, everybody.